Hi, my name is Elizabeth Foster and I am the founder of Connect Coach. And with Connect Coach, what we do is we connect coaches with clients. And today I am joined by one of our really, really cool coaches, and her name is Sunny Joy McMillan. And she is in fact, Sunny, actually, rather than me introduce you, welcome.
Thank you.
How about you introduce yourself? Tell us in one sentence, what do you actually specialize in your coaching practice?
Well, Elizabeth, I help adults navigate divorce with grace and rebuild their lives with greater purpose and meaning.
Wow, that's great. And navigate their divorce with grace. I think there are so many people in the world that could really, really benefit from the from what you do, because I know that it can be really harming to so many people, and both obviously both partners and the children and even friends and family. So I'm sure there's many people that would definitely benefit from a good navigation when it comes to divorce. So tell us, I mean, I'm always curious about coaches. I'm always curious about their stories, and what actually led them to be a coach. So tell me your coaching story.
Yeah. Well, if you had talked to me about 5 years ago, you would have found me as a very unhappy attorney who was in a very high conflict marriage. And our life looked absolutely perfect from the outside. Everything that culture tells you you're supposed to have that makes you happy, that we work toward our whole lives, we had. My ex-husband was a wildly successful plaintiff's attorney, and we had this over-the-top lifestyle that was beyond anything I would have ever dreamed of as a little girl. But at the same time, I felt really empty inside. There was always a voice that said that something was not right, that I was meant for something different or more. And I don't mean in a grandiose sense. I mean in a more, what I would now call like a soul-fulfilling way. But at the time, I was incredibly empty inside, and I didn't really know what to do with that. And then I found the work of Dr. Martha Beck. And for those of your listeners out there, Dr. Mark was a Harvard sociologist who ended up leaving academia through some kind of magical circumstances, but ended up becoming a life coach, actually before that was even a thing. This was like back in the late 80s, early 90s. I found her writing, and she put words to everything that I'd been feeling and did it in a way that was so funny and irreverent and fun. I just fell in love with her, and I read all of her books in quick succession. I ended up attending a workshop with her, and what ended up happening ultimately for me was I left my marriage and I left my career as an attorney. And what I'll just, spoiler alert, I have a better relationship with my ex-husband now than I did while we were married. So I know what's possible through divorce. And I don't say that lightly either. And I also know it's possible when you really connect to your calling as a profession and you do the work that you came here to do. So my joy in becoming a coach is to help facilitate others in the grace, in the healing, and the transformation that's possible when you actually step into the life that you're meant to live, which for me meant a huge upheaval in both my personal and professional life. But I believe that makes me very uniquely qualified to help others who are navigating divorce and this big transition and rebuilding their life in a way that has greater purpose and meaning.
So it was really through your own kind of emptiness inside, and knowing that things weren't right, and that there was something more that kind of you needed to experience or needed to happen or something like that, that you actually decided to, you made that transition in your life, out of yourself being a lawyer and out of the relationship that you'd been with. And I can imagine that there'll be a lot of people that would really resonate with that, actually, because they're in that place of, okay, I am, there's something in my life that's not right, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to move on from it, and I don't know how to get past it. And actually, it sounds like they would really that they in a self would actually, would really benefit from working with you. And I kind of just answered the next question that I had from you, which is kind of like, who would benefit from working with you? But and
Okay.
I just answered it for you, but actually, I'm going to pass it back to you. I'm going to pass it back to you.
Okay.
So why don't you actually tell us, rather than me just filling in that blank, why don't you tell
Yeah.
us who would benefit from working with you?
Yeah. Well, I think, Elizabeth, the folks that it's actually people in various stages. So I'll meet you wherever you are. But if you are considering divorce, or maybe you've been afraid to even go there, you don't want to say the D word. I understand that. I actually am living proof of what's possible of reconciliation, given the relationship I have with my ex. So if you're even considering divorce, or maybe even afraid just to talk about it, that's a really good candidate, and we can assess where you are. Someone who is in the midst of the divorce, I can meet you there too, because given my legal background, I can help you navigate the legal process, as well as provide the emotional and spiritual support that our legal system is not designed to give you. You need more. I know that from experience. And I can also help you if you've already gone through divorce. Even if you're 5-10 years down the road from it, there is still so much room for healing and growth. And so if you're already on the other side of divorce, I can help you not only heal your relationship, but also rebuild your life. One of my favorite things is connect people to their calling. And I find that sometimes when people have this opportunity for rebirth that comes with divorce, it's a perfect time to get tapped in to the work that you came here to do. So really, I'll meet you anywhere in the process, and I can help you get through it and come out the other side. I won't say unscathed, because I think that might be impossible, that there won't be some grief and pain, but I can help you get through it a heck of a lot easier and facilitate inspiration and hope to create something even greater.
And I love that idea, because there are so many people in the world that are living and I kind of think of it as a half-empty life.
Yep.
They're not fulfilled, they're not happy, and unfortunately, I love the way you talk about reconciliation, because I think that, if there's any way of saving a marriage or a relationship, then absolutely that's the way to go first, rather than, okay, let's just throw the baby out with the bathwater and pull the plug
Right.
on the relationship. So I love the fact that you actually really look there first, because I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
So Sunny, can you actually share with us maybe one of the stories from that you've actually taken a client through, so people can really get an understanding of, that could be me, that could be, I've been there myself. Maybe an example
Yeah.
of one of your clients' results.
Yeah. Well, so I would say one of the first that comes to mind is one of my first clients in doing this work. And when she came to me, she was, I would say the marriage was loveless at that point for sure. And I also would share that she was experiencing some verbal abuse from her spouse. So she was pretty beat down in terms of knowing where to go next and what to do, but knew that she probably couldn't stay in the marriage because it didn't feel like he had the capacity to change. So we worked on her. And in working together, I saw her transform from someone who was downtrodden and not seeing a lot of hope and feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to have to stay in the marriage no matter what, because I don't know what options I have. But we connected her with a wonderful attorney who let her know her rights, and that just gave her so much space, like she wasn't living in fear. And then from there, we worked together to give her confidence and clarity about what she wanted to do. She started working outside the home for the first time ever, doing what she loves, which is a form of coaching itself, which is really fun. And so I've watched her go from hopeless, stuck, don't know what comes next, to wisdom, clarity, confidence. She doesn't take the mistreatment anymore. And I think our work is not done yet. But at this point, I'd say, I don't know that she's going to stay in the marriage, but at least now She has all of the information she needs to make a decision, and she's gaining the financial independence and the empowerment to know that she can leave anytime she wants if, again, he's not able to meet her, and they can, work out what they're doing in their relationship. I've seen such huge growth with her. She's one of my favorite stories, I think, because she is one of my first.
I love that. And it kind of reminds me of sometimes when we're in a relationship, and certainly a relationship for a long time, and I've seen this time and time again where one of the partners will kind of lose themselves, and I love the way you talk about confidence and clarity, because maybe at the beginning of the relationship, when there was all the new love, there was very much that confidence was in her, and then as time, from one reason or another, that kind of eroded, and now she was in that place, rather, before she met you. She was in that place of really lacking in her self-confidence. It's like, who am I and what can I do and what is going on in the world? And now, as a result of that, she's stepping into her power. So it really sounds to me like that's the support that you give people. You really support them in stepping, back into their confidence, back into their power, taking
into who they are.
I love it. It's so. I think that's just so great. So, Sunny, tell me, we kind of have touched on it because please excuse me, because I get very excited about this conversation as well, and I love talking to coaches. But tell me, what actually gives you the greatest joy in coaching your clients?
The transformation, hands down, it's the transformation. And it's one of those things with coaching where I tell my clients, I love you, but I don't want to see you forever. I want to give you the tools. I want to help you learn how to fish, basically. And so when a client comes back and they have, a metaphoric fish, whether that means a business they've created or a relationship that they've either stepped away from because it was not sustainable, or they've been able to transform it into something that supports them, whatever that is, when they come back and they have this just excitement and inspiration, and they have the light back behind their eyes, that is just amazing. And I've never seen any other field where the amount of change actually occurs for people. Like, coaching is amazing because it provides accountability and encouragement in a way that I don't see else. So it's really nice, to see those changes.
It's a transformation, and again, I can imagine there's many people in the world that really could do with some transformation in their lives and in their relationships. So that would be fantastic. So, Sunny, what would you like to say to somebody that was actually thinking of working with you?
Well, what I would say first is, most of the time, if someone is coming to see a coach, they're in a time of transformation. And so in my experience, when I was there, I know how terrifying it can be. I know how exhausted you are. And especially if your life looks good on paper and no one is going to understand why you want to change something, I get it. I've been there. So all I would say is that just hang in there and at least explore your options. I may not be the coach for you, but there will be someone out there who can meet you where you are and take you where you want to go. And when I say take you, I mean facilitate this transformation. Fear is going to be just a human part of the process, in my experience. That's okay. Just try to stick with it, walk through it, and there will be a coach who can help you, guide you. It's kind of like joining up with a horse, in horse whispering. It's someone who can meet you and walk with you and encourage you. And so meet with a couple coaches and see who really lights your fire, and then do that.
That's great advice. That's great advice. Or take a coach match through Connect to Coach. That would be really cool.
There you go. Use the coach match system.
So, so Sunny, do you have any tips or suggestions that you could quickly give to somebody who's thinking of working with a coach? I mean, apart from, do a little bit of homework and look around, but, is there anything else?
Yeah, so this is actually something that I would tell you when evaluating a coach, evaluating a partner, a job, anything. And I'm going to ask you to listen to your body compass. When you are meeting with a coach that you might be working with, just pay attention to what's happening in your body. They're natural lie detector tests we have carried with us all the time. If you feel light and expansive and relaxed in their presence, that's a good sign. Go toward it. Go toward the people and the things that make you feel that light expansion. Usually it's in the chest, the solar plexus, maybe even the gut area. For some people it's the head. But if you're feeling that light expansion, go toward it. If you are evaluating a coach or an experience, something, and you feel heavy and constricted, there's any type of muscular contraction, I would say move away from that. So follow your body compass. Play it like a game of warmer, colder. If it makes you feel good, go toward it. If it makes you feel bad, go away from it. It's the bottom line.
I like that. Okay, so I mean, we've heard about you as a coach, and we've heard about you as the profession that you do and that you used to do. But I kind of want to find out a little bit about Sunny. So, what do you do outside of your work to actually balance your life? I mean, what are you passionate about?
Well, Elizabeth, my favorite thing right now outside of my coaching is my radio show. And I have a little radio show. It's on a local Seattle station here, Alternative Talk, 11:50 a.m. And each week on Friday mornings, it's from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific. You can listen on your smartphone. There's an app for that if you're not in Seattle. But I interview coaches and teachers and authors and healers. I've interviewed Martha Beck and Bruce Lipton and Byron Katie and all of my favorite people who I love to read. I try to get them on the show and I bring their work. I just love devouring their books and their work to prepare for the show and then bringing their work to a larger audience. So that would be the primary thing. And then right now, given that I live in Seattle, for those who are familiar with the Pacific Northwest, we can throw a stone and you hit an ocean or a mountain, and it's just gorgeous. And so my partner and I really love getting out with our dog and exploring this amazing part of the country that I didn't even know existed until about 4 years ago. I'd never been north of San Francisco, so I am still getting to know the city. So that's what I enjoy outside of my coaching practice.
That's so cool. So, and then moving forward, I mean, what actually are your goals and ambitions?
Well, so my first one is to finish Master Coach training, which will end in October 2016. That has been taking up the lion's share of my time. I never thought it would be like going back to law school again, but it is stretching me to my edge. So completing Master Coach training and being a certified Martha Beck Master Coach. And beyond that, I have a book in me, and I'm going to start writing that first book. And then amidst all of that, I really, my goal will be to be able to bring my work to my clients at Esalen Institute and at the Omega Institute in the future, and hopefully a retreat center of my own on the end of it all.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I love that idea. Let me know. I'll be sending people your way. Retreat center idea. I might even have to hang out there myself. So you've actually, you've talked about, Martha Beck and various people, but actually, who do you admire and why?
Well, I think that the mentors that I have chosen and the people whose work I follow are people who have stepped away from culture to follow inner compass. Dr. Lissa Rankin is a good example of that. She had, by our culture standards, she had it all. A lucrative medical practice in the Bay Area. And she knew that wasn't her right life. And by stepping away from that, it has opened up the possibility for even greater things from the universe to come in, like this writing career that she has. She's a best-selling author. And she founded the Whole Health Institute, which is aimed at healing our broken medical system and making it more holistic and integrative. Those are tall orders. So watching people like that step away from culture to follow inner compass just lights me up. And the people who are edge walkers, who bridge the gap between spirituality and science, which is the gap is closing, which is really exciting. But, you know, folks like Bruce Lipton, for example, I just love that. Those folks who can bring the wisdom of the spirituality that we've had for centuries, and then the scientific proof, bring them together, and it's going to change the world. So I love those folks.
Oh my God, that's so incredible, and I think I agree with you. I think that the people, when you can really back up, and I think Deepak Chopra's one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
When you can really, you know, back up that ancient wisdom with science, it just takes people just go, oh wow, and the spiritual people would be saying, well, you know, we've known this for
Right.
2,000 years, you know. What took you so long?
Right.
But yeah, I love that. I love that totally. So, I mean, so I have one more question, and it's a question that I it's kind of a big question. But what do you want to change in the world?
Oh my goodness. Well, so I'll give you a big answer. I believe we're in the midst of a transformation of consciousness. Where, in the words of Eckhart Tolle, we're at a point where we're going to evolve or die. And my goal is to help as many people as possible awaken. I think that we are on the cusp of one of the greatest times in human history. And if you look at the news, that wouldn't be the message you're getting. But I don't look at the news for that. I look elsewhere for my information. And so I want to help as many people as possible remember who they are as empowered spiritual beings, and do the work, live the life that they came here to live. Like, we're not just on earth messing around, hanging out. We came here to have soul growth and do amazing things. So I want to connect people to that and live lives of peace and purpose and freedom and joy and expansion and enlightenment, ultimately.
Wow, I think that definitely is a big answer, but I think that's a phenomenal answer, because it's really, you know, and I think in a way it's at the core of every good coach. It's really about you know, supporting that, remembering who you are. I think those are the words that you used, and it's really going back into that place of you know, this is actually who I am. This is what I'm here for. This makes my soul sing, and I think the ripple effect, if we can do that within ourselves, that ripple effect is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
So I'm right there with you, Sunny. I am right there with you. You
I'm
and
so glad.
we could listen. We could carry on talking for a long time. I love this conversation, and it's a pretty amazing conversation. And of course, I love you and the work that you do, and you're an incredible coach. And I think anyone would be absolutely really honored to work with you, and it would be a great gift for them to actually sit down and work with you. So I would definitely highly recommend you to people that were coming and connecting with Connect Coach, and I would recommend that they actually had a conversation with Sunny. So Sunny, thank you for taking the time, thank you for hanging out, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, thank you, Liz, for the opportunity. And I just really love the work that you're doing in the world. You are facilitating transformation on a large scale. So thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much. Take good care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.